All right, Cooper's with me. I was telling our production team behind the scenes, I feel like those young moms that have to go in their bathroom to hide when they're about to go live or they're going to have a team call. This is Cooper. Like, he's just been hypered this morning and extra needy. Look, he's pawing me. So bear with me while he's on. But this is Cooper with a K. So if you haven't met Cooper, he was born on my birthday, and I didn't know I was going to have him, at the time. I had thought about getting a dog previously. And then in August, I just got this download and I was like, okay, I'm going to get a puppy. And I found him. He was born on my birthday and they named him Cooper with a K, and for those of you that have followed my journey, my maiden name is Cooper. It is with a C, but I was like, this is my puppy. So he is really nervous. You know how animals can feel your senses? I don't feel like I'm nervous, but maybe he's taking on the nervousness. So, well, welcome. I'm so excited to finally be here. For many of you guys that have followed my journey, my husband passed away August 31st of 2022. We were on a beautiful European adventure trip, not abnormal to our life. Like, we traveled around the world. We worked and played at the same time. And we were on a cruise. And on the last port going into Liverpool, I found him in the shower and he had had a brain bleed, 2 of them, the front and the side. It was 5 days of the most amazing miracles, one thing after another. Definitely living in flow of listening to my intuition of what to do next. And people showed up to help me, strangers, because I was in a foreign country. And then within 5 days, he had made a full recovery, except for he had a 10-minute memory gap. And the doctor made a mistake, and then he passed away. So that is the Reader's Digest version of how Cocoon to Butterfly became basically to life. And now we're launching. So today is our first live, and it's an amazing part of my soul's purpose that after the death of my husband, after taking 2 months of celebrating his life and then taking the next year really to heal myself, I went through this journey of Cocoon to Butterfly without intentionally knowing that it was going to manifest into this experience. And so I'm really excited to share it with you finally. And we're going to get right to it. So we're going to start with, what is Cocoon to Butterfly? So welcome. This is going to be an amazing experience, hopefully for you. And as much as it is for me to actually go live again on StreamYard, David and I used to do this all the time. The first thing that you want to ask yourself is, what do you want your life to look like? And my question to myself after David died was, do I want to live? And the answer was a resounding yes, I want to live. And then I asked myself this question, well, what do you want it to look like? And I literally thought to myself, I have the ability at this moment to clear the canvas, to start fresh. And so that is what exactly I did. So I went right to work. And what you're going to see on the following slides are the actual 9-stage transformation process that I took. And they're under 3 phases. So it makes it easier to digest. A lot of times, I've been mentored a lot throughout my entire life. And how do you eat an elephant? Well, you eat it one bite at a time. So what I decided on this experience and how to share it with the collective is to divide it into 3 phases. And each phase has 3 stages. And then, of course, we had to gamify it because David loved a good game and to make it fun. So this is a visual way for those of you that are visual learners to understand how we start. So we start at breathe it, and then we go to the feel it, and then we go to keep it. So you see that it follows in a circular 8 form, and that is the infinity sign. If you haven't, if you haven't experienced what the infinity sign is, it is the sign that David showed me when he left his body, and I asked him to take me where he was, and I felt the most amazing, unconditional love I have ever felt, and I can only compare it to when the birth of my child happened. That love that you have for a child, and it pales comparison to that. David, with his finger, made the infinity sign, and I actually hadn't done a lot of research on the infinity sign, so it's one of the reasons why we put it in here. Is the infinity sign represents a lot. You can do some research on that, but it is an important part of Cocoon to Butterfly, because this journey is one that you will ascend, and you will your frequency will vibrate up, but it's never ending. It will not end. And even as we leave our bodies, we're not ending. And so that's what David showed me, that infinity sign, and we gamified it for him. So the first phase, stage 1, is recognize it. So you want to recognize what emotions or feelings you have that you're avoiding or you're suppressing. So you're going to write them down without judgment, and you're not going to try to analyze or fix them right now. You're literally going to go through and you're going to say, wow, okay, I recognize this emotion. And then you're going to write it down. Obviously, the first one that for me, it was grief. I was grieving. Then you're going to move on to let it in. And this is the part of the experience where you actually let the emotions take over your body. I was helping a friend of mine go through this, and she said, literally, she was like, okay, so I'm just supposed to sit in this? Like, that doesn't seem right. Like, I'm just supposed to let it basically attack my body. And so I was helping her through it. I was like, well, you can look at it that way. But the way that I looked at it is, in order to recognize it and then to let it in, you have to actually allow it in the spaces of your body where more emotions show up. And the more you allow this to happen, the more the healing process actually is capable of the long-term healing, not the temporary Band-Aid, because we're going deep. We're not doing the avoidance, dopamine downloads that make you feel real good real quick. And at the end of the day, that's just a Band-Aid. So we're going in deep. We're allowing it to fully immerse and then recognize how you feel. And the next one is you're going to feel it. So segued right into that. You're going to really honor, how is this making me feel? You're going to describe it in as much detail as you can. And you're going to do it throughout your whole body and your mind, because your body feels differently than your mind. And so the more descriptive and the more you can actually get to the root of the feeling in all parts of your body, to the effect of, I didn't have any physical ailments like numbness, or I did have soul chills. So that's a physical ailment, but you'll want to recognize when it's in your spirit, your psyche, your mind, and then also in your physical ailments. So as I developed and became more of an expert of the Cocoon to Butterfly experience, I now know that in one of my chakras, when I get that explosion of energy in that field, I know, okay, I can recognize, oh, all right, okay, now I start asking questions. So this part is super important. And at first, you're not going to recognize it for that long-term gain. I didn't recognize it for the long-term gain for a while, but I did recognize it through my soul and my mind very easily. Now, for some of you, it's going to be a little bit different experience. Okay, now we're on to phase 2, stage 4, and this is breathe it in. So as you focus on your health, what emotions or thoughts come to surface? How does your breathing through this change how you feel? It's very important that when your breath is life. So when you're breathing and you intentionally think, I'm breathing in and giving oxygen to the parts of my body that maybe have not felt breath in a long time. Now, when I started this, I wasn't a yoga expert by any means, but I obviously knew about breathing. When you have a child, you learn how to breathe through the pain of delivery. And so I had a little bit, I was a novice, I would say. when it came to breathing. And I'm certainly no expert to this day, but I will tell you that breathing is one of the weaknesses that I had of developing this skill set of Cocoon to Butterfly. When you breathe it, you can actually feel it go through the depths of your body. And this is where I'm getting better at this. I'm not, like I said, an expert at this, but as I breathe it into the crevices of my body where I know the emotions are dormant, they've been sitting there for a long time. When you breathe into them, you actually give them life. And then you start with, phase one, you go right back to stage 1, 2, and 3 with the parts of your body that now you have basically awakened and given life. And the next one is speak to it. So this is my favorite part because I like to communicate, just a communicator. So I would oftentimes speak to it, like, why are you here? I would, and at the beginning, I wasn't really great at the questions. I just was like honoring them, speaking to them, like, I recognize you. I see that you're here. I want to serve you in a way so that you feel acknowledged and recognized, but I don't want to feel this way the rest of my life. So I would start speaking in those terms. And as you go through the Cocoon to Butterfly experience and work with this experience, you will have tools and guides helping you along the way to understand how to develop each of these sections to a higher way to basically utilize your experience better. So while I'm saying this, speaking to it, I spoke to it like a preschooler. Like I was literally like, why are you here? Like, I don't like you, but then as I went further into the Cocoon to Butterfly experience, I spoke to it more eloquently and was like, okay, I understand why you're here. You're here for me to learn more about myself. Okay. What is it that I'm supposed to learn? What is the purpose of you being here? And now, it has been 2 years since I started this. I can get to the place where I recognize it right away and I honor it. I'm like in gratitude. I'm so thankful. And I give words, of affirmation. The next one is honor it. So you want to honor this journey. You want to honor the achievements. You want to honor yourself for making it this far through phase 2 of this experience. And you'll have ultimately, obviously, gone through a lot of pain and release and built some new skill sets. So that's what I did. And that's just like the coach in me, just honoring the fact that, okay, you're doing it, Alyssa, you're getting through this. And I wasn't an avoidant by any means, but I was definitely figure it out, get it done, and move on. Like that was my MO, which did not honor anything in my body. And so often, and what I found through the experience is that they were laying dormant in my body. So that's honor it. And the next one is give it thanks. Gratitude. I'm a huge advocate, and so is David, a huge advocate of gratitude. We would wake up every morning and we had a ritual, and gratitude was one of them, to thank ourselves, to thank the people that are in our lives, to thank the experience that we had the day before, to give gratitude for what was looking forward coming up in the day. And in this experience of Cocoon to Butterfly, you want to give yourself thanks and everyone that has helped you along the way, because at this point, you're certainly not going to be isolated for the most part. You're going to have to, what I call, have gone out and peopled. You're going to have peopled. And so those people will have probably shown you a mirror to where you need to heal a little bit more or go back and ask these questions to a little bit more. And also maybe have shown you how much you've grown, which is definitely my experience. By the time I was ready to go people again, I was unrecognizable to the people that were in my daily life. And so I gave them thanks for showing me how much I had grown. The next one is release it. Release it is, probably my favorite part. And I learned through this experience that prior to David's death, I was at the release it part of, ascension. or frequency elevation, becoming a better person, a better version of yourself. These are all the same, the end goal, the same things, but said in a different way. Releasing was my favorite part, and I wanted to race to it. Like, check the box, I'm done. In this program, you're going to find that by the time you get to this release it, the release will feel almost like a death and rebirth experience. As you get through Cocoon to Butterfly experience over and over, this is the part that will actually resonate to you as, wow, I had a full-on death and a rebirth of who I am. So then that goes right into rebirth. Describe this new version of yourself that is emerging, and out you come as a version of a butterfly. So I'm so excited to have gone through this. It was a little bit of an overview, just to honor the live version of Facebook. This will also be on my Instagram handle and then on my YouTube channels. So now you're probably at the point of like, okay, Alyssa, like what does this mean? So my calling, my soul's purpose for Cocoon to Butterfly is to deliver this to humanity. Yes, to the world. I know it's a big, audacious goal, but it's something that I know I was called to actually do. So I will be giving it to the collective, to humanity in a free form, which is what you just experienced. We'll be doing this into our Cocoon to Butterfly public Facebook group page. So if you want to join that, just connect with me, and I will have my team drop you into the Facebook group. And I will be going through all of the 3 phases and 9 stages in that group for free to the collective. Now, you might be saying, okay, I feel like I can do this, but I'm a visual learner. I want tactical things. And so that will be the next part of Cocoon to Butterfly experience, should you want to take this on, to help you relieve yourself from grief and ascend to ultimately freedom. Then you'll want to grab what I'm so excited to have joined forces in Custom Box Agency to create a curated box that's personalized just for you. It will be delivered to your home, so you can go through this in the privacy of your own home and basically do this experience with the video. I have video tutorials through each of the stages to help you. And then, of course, the Cocoon to Butterfly public group for community. And this curated box can also be delivered to maybe some family members if you're going through an experience that you want to help each other, like a book club. So the curated box will come to your doorstep of their homes. You come together maybe every Monday night, and you go through the stages together. And so that was the download that I got as the way to go through Cocoon to Butterfly experience with a tactical visual aids as you go through each of the stages. And then if you want to collaborate with other people and have the experience together. And the next one that I'm so excited about is the live version of Cocoon to Butterfly, which will be in Tacoma, Washington at Tacoma Convention Center. It will be June 28th and 29th. And this is a live event. And I never thought that I would ever do live events again. Dave and I did them often. And I'm so excited now, as this has come to fruition and developed, that this is key, because a lot of people want to be in a live, surrounded by other people, collaboration, community. This live event will have speakers for each of the stages that will link Cocoon to Butterfly to their own experience, their own ascension, and then show you, which will give you hope and actual proof that once you get to freedom, that your life is changed for the better. And each of these speakers have proof of that through how they came out of their version of Cocoon to Butterfly, because obviously this is a new program, so they haven't experienced Cocoon to Butterfly themselves, but that will be the future of Cocoon to Butterfly live event. We will have people that actually go through it live themselves. So as you can see on the screen, there are many ways that you can join. The last screen, let's flip that back so I can kind of go over that more clearly. What you'll want to do is, so this is how, everything that's in it, screenshot it. You can see what's in the curated box should you want to join that part. There are 2 ways to join that. It's an 8-week Cocoon Butterfly experience. You can obviously do it more than an 8-week experience. If you should want to choose to pay over the 2 months period, then it's $222. If you want to do a one-time pay, then it's $333. And that comes with a live ticket, the $333 option. Also, the first 10 people that click go to this QR code and actually join, you will also get a live event ticket. And then if you do the one-time pay, it's going to be you plus an additional person for free as a complimentary ticket. So with that, I'm just so excited to have had you be on this live with me. And there's so many people here watching, and I'm just so grateful. As always, I say this pretty much especially if you go back to my Facebook feed from after David died, you are the reason why I got up every 2 to 3 hours and was able to actually breathe and move forward with less pain, because I would go on and see the hundreds of comments, the many shares. You helped me, and it is because of you that I began this journey. And I'm so excited to hold on just a second. Em said for me to share this one more time. Okay. All right. Okay. Last screen. Sorry about that. Your purchase also includes a 30-minute private session with me. I'm really excited about this so I can get to know you a little bit better. And obviously, if you need clarifying questions, we have a team that is ready to answer those as well. So there's a QR code for that. Sorry about that. That was the last slide that I was supposed to add that I forgot because I wanted to go right into gratitude. All right. So now we have Em on. So Emmy, introduce yourself. And I'm so excited to have you here. And Emmy's been here from the beginning, y'all. If you don't know Emmy's story, I'm not going to tell it for her, but I will tell you that when David and I had made our calendar of traveling for a year and a half, 18 months, we did that the month before he passed. And Em was his replacement for the first trip to the DR. We had earned a trip to the Dominican Republic for one of the companies that we were a representative for. And Emmy was telling me, David keeps on coming to me and says, help her. And I was like, Em, she's like, and I don't know who her is. Who is she? Because I will help. David, I'm here. I will help. And I was like, it's me. Em, it's me. So, Em, over to you.
Hello, everybody. If you don't know me, I'm Emmy. And roundabout way, David and I were family. And I have been so blessed to be a part of Alyssa's life for over a decade. And working on this project has been such a beautiful experience, because even though I haven't really gone through it per se yet myself on the front end, I've been able to experience it on the back end, and watching Alyssa go through her own transformation. I know how powerful it is, and I've already seen the impact that it's had on some people that have already been going through the stages before the boxes were ready. And it's beautiful. I've gone through a lot of traumatic experiences in my own life, and I've been able to put a lot of these stages, if you will, into place already. And I am just so excited to see this come to fruition. And it's just been such a blessing to be a part of it. And I can't wait to work with all of you. And if you book that 15-minute call, we can get to know each other a little bit better. And I feel very led by David in many ways. As Alyssa said, he came to me after he passed and told me, she needs your help. Came to me 3 times. I got real frustrated because I didn't know who it was. And finally we determined that it was Alyssa, and I've been by her side ever since. And I'm really excited and looking forward to see how this helps so many people. And I look forward to seeing y'all in June.
Yeah, thank you so much, Em. And honestly, like David, he had a brilliant mind. He literally was Batman. Like he had a bat cave. I mean, all the stuff that went up in his brain was just crazy awesomeness. And then I had to like innovate it and implement it into the team. And it's funny because I was like, how am I going to move forward without a David? And then it's Emmy, and Emmy has a brilliant mind too, but David will literally give her downloads and she'll be like, oh, okay, this is how I do it. Like, this is how I figure it out. So he's definitely helping on this project for sure. And I love every time I talk to Em, you know, she's just, you're so empathetic too. Even when I like have my moments where I'm like, oh my gosh, like I lose it, you know. Everybody has to have an M in their life. That's what everyone that knows M is like, I need an M in my life. So yes, thank you so much for taking the call and helping, you know, get this project off. And so yes. All right. So now we're going to move to Farhana. All right. And let's go right here.
Hi, everyone.
Wait, just 1 second. Let me get toggle. Okay, this was David's domain. So hold on. I cannot get. There we go. There's Farhana. Hi.
Hi. Alyssa, but you're not in the screen with me.
Okay, let me see if I can do that. Nope.
Oh, this is good.
I can only do it. Yeah, okay. Well, Em, you're on it. There you go. All right.
Hey, everyone. I'm Farhana Cannon, and I'm so excited to be here with you guys. And I met Alyssa, I think like almost 10, 15 years ago. 15, yeah, in the Bahamas at a mastermind. And David was also there. And then we went on a marketer's cruise in the Caribbean together. And I always just admired how you both had such a beautiful relationship and you worked together, and there was just like this playful energy. And I was like, oh, I love that. I want that in a marriage. And then when I saw that David had passed, like I was heartbroken, and I was heartbroken for you. And you handled it with such grace. And you shared your story like raw, and you shared that you were hurting, and it gave me permission to be like, it's okay to have emotions. I don't need to show up perfectly all the time because stuff happens and we have to process that. And when we pretend or suppress it, it's still there. We just cry about it in our rooms and put on a good face when we go out. And, you know, the grief process is from the loss of a loved one, but it's also a loss of an identity. And early 2022, I had a concussion and I couldn't speak properly, and I had a black eye. And when I started coming back out and my brain started like functioning, and I started looking at Facebook and seeing your story, I was like, wow, you know, she's sharing that she's not okay. And she's always so happy and fun. And she's sharing that that's not what's happening for her right now. And it's okay. And people are supportive and loving. And then I lost my grandfather. And that was super tough for me. And instead of pretending that I was okay, I just said I wasn't okay. And I worked through that, and I processed those emotions, and I asked for help. And I don't know if I would have done that if I hadn't seen how you took on that journey for yourself. And I love that you created the journey for people to process that, because we all need support. Like, we're people, we're supposed to be in community and be with one another and help one another. We just can't do it alone. And even if we can, it doesn't feel good. And so I love Cocoon to Butterfly, how we have that community aspect of people supporting one another to get back into like our normal selves. And, you know, the journey map, this is a part of the box, and it takes you through that process. And for me, I'm a visual person. So it's like, okay, let me take a look at that. And also, I love that you share that healing is not linear. There's always going to be stuff that comes up, and we can go back to these tools. And I love this box. It's so cute. Transformation starts here. Like, I love this. And, you know, no matter what you're going through, a loss of identity, a loss of a career, empty nester, you know, loss of a loved one, whatever that looks like, this process can help anyone. And I'm so grateful to be a part of this.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah. You know, Farhana mentioned a lot of things that I didn't realize until going through this, that I had actually gone through grief before in ways that I didn't process properly. David's death forced me to, and it was interesting because when I said to myself, like, do you want to live? And the answer was like, well, yes. And then I got that clean slate kind of visual. I think because I've never done that before, it gave me permission to like, okay, well, you can do it differently, like totally. Like, so the interesting thing is when I was going through the stages, I realized, wow, okay, when I was an athlete and my dream of being an Olympian fell through, that was a death, a death of a goal, like as a teenager. Then coaching, I wanted to coach an Olympian. And then that was, obviously that didn't happen, but along the way, obviously amazing things happen, but these are all grief processes that we go through because it's the human experience. The other thing too, Farhana, having said all the other different ways of grief, the low forming frequencies of like anger, resentment, jealousy, all of those are the same low vibe as grief. Now, I didn't have those just because as a teenager, I think, being an athlete and that kind of stuff, you see that version of those low frequencies. And when you're like, oh, I don't want to be that, you kind of work hard on, again, not that I don't think it's because I was better than anybody. I just started earlier, mentoring, like, okay, I don't like these feelings of jealousy. Because of course I was jealous when I was a gymnast. It's like, yeah, I want to win. Like I want to beat you, So what Cocoon to Butterfly can do for you is if you're an adult and you've never had, an adult in your life or a mentor that's helped you understand how to come out of those frequencies healthily, Cocoon to Butterfly will help that as well, which is an amazing, like icing on the cake. The visual that I got for Cocoon to Butterfly after it was created was that consciousness will rise the more that people participate in the Cocoon to Butterfly experience. And it doesn't matter if you finish or not, just get started. I mean, I would love for you to finish because then you're going to end up your authentic self living in your gifts, free, literally free of, that's a whole nother live. But if you just start, it will raise consciousness. And that is not just my soul's purpose, but it is so many people right now are waking up to it. And that's what was crying to me is like, you are one of many, but if you don't go, someone else might not go. And so what Farhana said, like when I was in the grief moment where I literally was using Facebook as a journal diary, like this is how I'm feeling. I was not doing it for anybody but myself at that moment. It literally was, I have to get these feelings out. I can't people. I can't be around anyone. So I would just like, just put it out on Facebook. It was part of my healing process. The interesting thing about like coming full circle of it all is to realize that everybody's journey is going to look different. And you may say, I would never put anything on social media about my personal life. You don't have to, as you go through the experience of Cocoon to Butterfly, the stages will resonate with you. You will be able to process what works best for you. So that's kind of what I wanted to kind of wrap up too, because I know that people have told me, Alyssa, I'm so proud of you, but I could never do what you did. Like, how did you not care what people were thinking about you? I'm like, because I was pretty much The Walking Dead after David died. Like I could give two, like, I don't swear a lot, but literally 2 Fs, like could care less. I don't care. Do not care what anybody thinks. And I utilized that later in my Cocoon to Butterfly experience. For the most part, I reached an age where I didn't really care what people thought. But as I dug in, I really did care about what some people thought. Not a lot, but some people. And now I don't care about what anybody thinks because everything that I need is within me. If I'm short of anything, it's here. I dive in deep, I ask the questions, and that's what the 9th stage gets you, 8 and 9 gets you to that place where you're no longer noosed by your internal, self-talk or lack of self-talk or anyone else around you. You will never be affected by anybody else again. And you will never look at them in a way that is harmful or sad or angry or low vibration. You will look at them with love because they are doing the best that they can. David used to always say that, with what they have. And then where I ascended was, and now we're to model for them not in a I'm your teacher way, but in a modeling sense of like, I love you unconditionally. I love me unconditionally. And therefore, when you move forward in people, you will understand how to not allow other people to affect you. And ultimately, that is freedom, friends. That is freedom. So thank you so much for being on this. And thank you, Em. And thank you, Farhana, for your beautiful, I just, even though neither of them, no one has gone completely through the Cocoon Butterfly experience, but we have 6 people that have gone through almost all of the journey. And we've gotten such great feedback already. The curated boxes are ready now. The ones that the 6 people got were the kind of beta testing ones. Like I got one just like Farhana did. This is what the box looks like. Yeah. And this is box 1 of 2. So this box goes through the first 2 phases. And then when you get to the end of phase 2, you send in this very cool thing that sends you the completion of the box set. So, all right. Well, if you have any questions, you know where I'm at. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram, although I'm not as present anymore because that's part of my new living experience is to not be with my phone on social media 24/7. So, but I will get back to you if you have any questions. And of course, Em is here for you as well. And Farhana has been a beautiful addition to this Cocoon to Butterfly experience. And Farhana has been one of the most beautiful gifts that have come to Cocoon to Butterfly. The interesting thing is God has always given me these downloads of reach out to this person, reach out to this person. And when I call God true source, when I was given this about Farhana, I was like, wow, okay. So it was hard for me to find her a little bit. She had gotten married and, lots of things had happened. And when we reconnected on Zoom, I was like, okay, it makes sense. Cause I didn't know her grandfather had died. I didn't know the spiritual awakening that she had gone through. And every single person that has been a part of Cocoon to Butterfly has that type of story that I didn't know until I was told to connect with this person. So this is a project for humanity. And I'm just so excited and grateful that you are here at it's been 35 minutes. So thank you. All right, everybody, have a great rest of your day. And, share this if you think there's anybody that is interested in raising any of the frequencies that we talked about, but especially grief. But it is more than just grief. All right. Bye, friends.